Hello, fantasy sports fans, and welcome to MFSN The Hub. We are super excited to come to you tonight because last night, March Madness began. The brackets were announced, and here at MFSN, we like to provide you all the best information right away. And so I am here with Ross the Boss to bring you our predictions and strategies for winning your March Madness pool. Ross, say hello to everybody.
This is unbelievable, baby. That's my Dick Vitale impression. Dick's actually cancer-free, which is I'm so happy. He's my favorite sports personality, Dick Vitale. You heard it from me first, Ross the Boss. Yes, the brackets came out. Yes, it's my favorite time of the year. Yes, I love watching Thursday and Friday games, 16 games on each day. It's unbelievable. I love it. It's going to be an unbelievable tournament. I think if you had to ask me, like, who got in that shouldn't deserve it, Notre Dame does not deserve to be in the big dance. Texas A&M, yes, I know they lost 8 in a row. I know they did not play consistent basketball during the year, but during the end of the season, they played really, really well, and they should have been in the tournament.
I really
That's
like
my big gripe.
I like the claps for emphasis. So, Ross, I mean, obviously Thursday and Friday to me, and I think you would agree, are the two greatest sporting days probably of the year because you get wall-to-wall basketball, you get crazy upsets. And so, but before we go through the first round, why don't you tell me what's your strategy for filling out your bracket to give you the best chance of success? Because obviously last year you and I came in first and second in our big pool. So we have proven that we know what we're doing.
So last year, you and I both had Baylor. We didn't plan it. We were doing the show, and you said Baylor, I said Baylor. We didn't consult. There was nothing. We just thought they were the two best teams, and we were right. Last year, I had Gonzaga and Baylor as the two best teams, and they played in the championship. So there you go. This year, it's different. I don't have I'm not going to do the brackets backwards like I usually do. I take the two best teams, make them in the championship, and take it from there. I'm not doing that this year. There are about 8 to 10 teams that I feel that can be champions this year in the NCAA. There's so much things going on with these 6-year seniors. These teams have so many 5-year seniors. A lot of teams have that. That helps a lot. You have 22, 23-year-olds playing against 18-year-olds. It's a huge advantage. And you got to know who's on what team and who's starting and who's not and what's playing. So that all being said, this year it's wide open. I wish I can say I feel so confident about my pick. I can't wait to tell you. I'm not that confident. So
yeah,
the best way to some strategy is to listen to the teams that we like and kind of spread it around in some of the different bracket pools you were in. I mean, just don't take one team, take 3 or 4 teams. I don't have I'm not saying this team's for sure going to win. I don't know what you think, but that's my strategy this year.
Do you have a Cinderella or two for this year?
We'll talk about it. I have a few Cinderellas. I'll tell you, Arkansas, I feel they'll go pretty far in the tournament. I also like Miami of Florida. They're a very senior backcourt. They have 2 seniors that are one's a point guard, one's a shooting guard. They're really, really good, and they're 5-year seniors, and they're a really good team, Miami of Florida. So they're kind of like a dark horse for me. And I always root for Lsu Chicago. I think I have them winning the first round. So I mean, there's always my favorites, and there's going to be a lot of surprises. We'll see what happens.
All right. Well, Wichita Film certainly agrees with you about Texas A&M. He said the buzz got cut. So
Buzz Williams, who's the coach, Buzz Williams at Texas A&M. That's why he said it. That's a great reference.
He might be a little salty that they didn't make it in. All right. Well, with that, Wong and McGusty, both juniors at Miami. Is he correcting you on live TV? That's Wichita Films.
No, they have a 5th-year senior. That's the point. That's really good. And Wichita Films is actually a Virginia Tech graduate, and Virginia Tech, I feel, is going to go.
I have the Hokies. I have them beating Texas in the first round. That's for sure.
Yeah, I like Virginia Tech. They really surprised me in their little ACC tournament. They were terrific.
All right, they took down Duke, didn't they? Anybody who takes down Duke, I'm a fan of. All right, let's start with the West bracket, since that's where Gonzaga is, and they're the overall #1 seed. I'll ask you who I think is going to win the Gonzaga-Georgia State game, but I have a feeling we're going to agree on.
Just so everybody knows, a 1 seed has never lost to a 16 seed in the history of NCAA. A 2 seed has lost, but not a 1 seed in the first round. So We're all taking Gonzaga. I'm not doing a big spiel about it. Gonzaga is going to win that game.
So what about the next game, the 8-9 game, Boise State and Memphis?
Penny Hardaway's the coach of Memphis. I like Memphis. They've been playing really good basketball. Boise State, great potatoes. They grow unbelievable potatoes there in Boise, but they're not going to beat Memphis. I have Memphis winning that game.
Who do I have winning that game? Actually, I picked Boise State. 8-9 seed. It seemed like a toss up to me. I didn't love either team very much, but the 5-12 game is interesting. I think Connecticut is pretty underrated as a 5 seed. They've been playing some pretty good ball, and they're going up against New Mexico State. I don't see much of a challenge there for the Huskies. What do you think?
I love that. Connecticut's one of my dark horses. It's too bad they're playing Arkansas in the second round, but Connecticut has probably one of the best big men in the game and probably is one of the best point guards in the game. But I like Connecticut a lot, and yes, they'll beat New Mexico State handily.
Well, so we're going to get to the first one we disagree on. It's the 4-13 matchup here in the West. Arkansas, the Razorbacks against Vermont. I actually see this as an upset. I think Vermont just shoots better than anybody else in the tournament. And if you have the best shooting team from all five positions, I think you can take down anybody. And I just see them getting the upset here against Arkansas. But you see Arkansas as a potential dark horse.
At the end of the season, Case, Arkansas was taking down Kentucky. They were taking down Auburn. They were taking down all the big teams. I mean, they ended the season great. They didn't play well in the tournament. And I feel when you lose early in the tournament, like Arkansas did, I think it helps them in this tournament because they have time to rest. They don't have to play on Sunday. They don't have to play more games. They can be on the beach resting for a few days and then ready to go on Monday to see who they play. I don't think it's a huge deal. Arkansas is a really good team, really well coached, and they have some really good horses ready to roll. Vermont, not this season, Case. It's not going to happen this season. They're overmatched and big height advantage to Arkansas. It's not going to happen.
Okay. How about we have a lot more comments here. Tadpole triplet. Apparently
he was an All-American player at Tennessee, actually. New Jersey kid, unbelievable basketball player, great softball player. He's on my softball team. What's he have to say?
He's apparently a Vols fan. He put down Tennessee.
He went there. Of course he is. I mean, he was like an All-American out of there. I mean, yeah, of course. Of course.
You might have to have a talk with your buddy Wichita Films. He keeps correcting you live on air. He said UVA lost as a 1 seed to the 16 seed, then won the tournament the next year.
That's what I said. I mean, the guy's waxing his ears.
I think you said if 1 seed has never lost to a 16 seed.
It's not a big deal.
Wow, man. Wichita, you might need to call in. I think this needs to be verbally duked out.
He doesn't understand. He doesn't speak English.
So you said Notre Dame doesn't belong in the show.
No, Notre Dame does not. No, fight me on that, Wichita Films or Tadpole. They do not deserve to be in the tournament. It's a shame they got in. It's unbelievable. They got in because their alumni is so big, and their alumni, I'm sure, made that happen. And what I heard also was they decided on Saturday, not on Sunday, all the teams are going to be in the tournament. So there you go.
So do you think Rutgers beats Notre Dame in the play-in game?
Oh, I think Rutgers is really underrated, and I have Rutgers going to the Sweet 16. I think they're that good. Yes, I have Rutgers winning. Yes.
Wichita agrees with you. Notre Dame should be in the NIT. So you have Rutgers beating Alabama then. Alabama was a hot team the start of the season.
Alabama is the most inconsistent team in the tournament. They lose to really bad teams, and they played okay during the season, but they're not that good. And you know what? They're going to be upset, and that's a Ross the Ball special.
I'm a big fan of Texas Tech. I think their defense is so strong and so good that I actually have them going to the Elite Eight out of the bracket. They're playing Montana State in the first round.
Yeah, it's Craig Kilborn's alma mater, Montana State. I have Texas Tech going to at least the Sweet 16. They could make the Elite Eight also. They're a really good offensive team. They love to score. They run and run and run and run, but they're very well coached, and I think Texas Tech will do really well in this tournament.
What's your take on Tom Izzo's squad this year?
Every year I want to say I'm not taking Michigan State. And every year Michigan State somehow makes it the Sweet 16. So this year, Michigan State fans, I'm taking you to win the first round.
Yeah, there's two teams I'd never bet against in the tournament. One is a Jimmy Boeheim coached Syracuse team and and a Michigan State Tom Izzo team because they both
Michigan State plays a pretty good team too. Who do they play?
they play Davidson. They play Steph Curry's alma
Davidson's
mater.
a team. I'm going to say right now, I'm not sold on Michigan State in a couple brackets. I do like 4 brackets. I'm at least picking Davidson in 2 of the brackets to win that game. I like Davidson a lot. I watched them play, and yes, they are for real. They're a really good team. And what famous basketball player came out of there? I forgot.
I think I said it already. Steph Curry. He's pretty good.
Curry. I knew that.
So the number 2 seed in this bracket is Duke, and they're playing Cal State Fullerton. I don't think there's much problem with that game, but how far do you see Coach K going in his swan song here as the coach of the Blue Devils?
So if Duke wins that game, they play who in the next round?
Either Michigan State or Davidson.
I think Davidson can make it the sweet. I think Davidson can knock them off. And
well, Wichita Films just pointed out that Duke has never made it out of the west side of the bracket in his illustrious
I don't
career.
like Duke winning that, but for sure I don't have Duke in the Final Four. In a couple of my brackets, I did take Davidson to upset Duke. I got to admit that. Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's move
Duke to lose at home on Coach K's last game
to Carolina.
North Carolina is a travesty. And
look, as a Maryland alum from the 90s when they were in the ACC, nothing made me happier than watching that. I just got to be honest. Like I was there during the Steve Wojciechowski days at Duke, and so watching Duke lose makes me very, very happy.
They had their whole alumni there. I mean, everybody was there at that game, and for them to lose to a North Carolina team that I think they're okay. I mean, I think they're playing better than they did earlier in the season, but that was unbelievable.
Yeah. Pretty bad. All right, let's move to the East. Baylor, Norfolk State. I don't think we need to say much there. Baylor just
16 seed. Yeah,
gonna outmatch them. How about Carolina, Marquette? The Tar Heels going against Marquette.
Carolina's been playing really good basketball, and I'm taking Carolina in that. Marquette lost a lot of games. Marquette's record's not that great. It really isn't. They have over double-digit losses. I'm taking Carolina. They have a lot of talent. I think they played really well getting into the tournament, and I feel they can go. I don't think they can beat UCLA, but I feel that they'll do a lot of damage in the first couple rounds.
Okay, and it's been pointed out that Baycott on UNC is a stud. So
yeah,
he's a good little player, a good young player. He's big.
Yep.
All right, St. Mary's. I'm a big fan of St. Mary's. They're going up against the play-in game. Against Wyoming and is it India? Who are they playing?
Indiana,
yeah.
So Indiana's been playing pretty good ball. I watched them in the Big Ten tournament. They played well. I like that WCC conference with Gonzaga. They beat Gonzaga this year already once. St. Mary's. They're a good team. I watched them play. They're out here on the West Coast, and I've seen them play. And they're for real. They're. I mean, you look at their name. Oh, St. Mary's. I never heard of that school. It's like St. Peter's. Who cares? St. Mary's is going to win that.
Well, yeah, the WCC is getting stronger, which means the top teams are playing tougher.
I like San Francisco is a WCC team too. I like St. Mary's, and of course, everybody loves Gonzaga. So St. Mary's, yes, I have them winning the first round.
All right, a team I have going to the Final Four is UCLA, and they're playing Akron in the first round. So obviously, where I'm leaning in that game. But
yeah, I would love to take a Pac-12 team going to the Final Four. I didn't. I really don't believe in the Pac-12 going that far in the tournament. I wish I was wrong. Of course, I have UCLA winning. I have them going to at least the Sweet 16, maybe the Elite 8. But I think a few things I did do in the Elite 8, but I don't have them going to the Final Four. No, but UCLA will win the first couple rounds. You're right. That's a good one.
Another one of my favorite upset picks is Virginia Tech beating Texas. We touched on it earlier.
I'm just waiting for Wichita Films to email us on that pick. He's a huge VTech fan. I can't believe he didn't talk trash during the game with me. But that all being said, yes, VTech is playing unbelievable basketball, and they'll win the first round.
Big Wichita Films think it's the Big 12's year this year. So,
of course he does.
All right, Purdue against Yale. A 3-14.
I watched Yale Princeton in the conference championship. I think it was yesterday, and Yale didn't look bad. I mean, but they're not going to win the first round. So Purdue is dominant. They don't play any defense. The defense on that team's a joke, but they don't need to. They score on will. They have a really good team.
Okay. Murray State, the Flyers, right? They're going against San Francisco, another one of those good teams out of the
So
West.
Murray State was one of the two teams in this tournament that were undefeated in their conference. Murray State was one of them, and the other one was South Dakota State. They were undefeated also. But that's a tough game. I'm gonna go with Murray State. I like Murray State in that game. I think they're well coached. They'll run with that team. And a famous Memphis Grizzly actually went to Murray State.
Yeah, Wichita Films just pointed that out too. Ja Morant.
Yeah.
All right. I don't think you're giving St. Peter's much of a chance against Kentucky, but I'll let you say it.
I would love to see that upset. I know everybody's pools would be destroyed, but it doesn't matter. If St. Peter's can win, it'd be great, but Kentucky's going to win the game. I don't think St. Peter's, I don't think they'll get blown out though.
Okay. What about Arizona? You think they're going to win the 116 matchup there in the South?
Arizona, yes, they'll win by 25 points.
Now, I didn't get a chance to see Seton Hall play at all this year. They're going up against TCU in the 8-9 matchup. What can you say about those teams?
TCU they just run and gun. They're a very high scoring team, very potent. Seton Hall is very well coached, very low scoring games. They keep the games under 70. It's going to be a good matchup just because two different styles of play, but I have TCU.
Okay. Houston against University of Alabama, Birmingham.
Everybody loves Houston. I mean, everybody's like, oh, Houston, they're the Cinderella team this year in the Ncaa. You know what? Houston fans, they're going to lose in the first round. I like UAB. For some reason, they always do well in the tournament. Give me UAB.
Okay. Illinois, Chattanooga, 4-13.
I have Illinois going pretty far in the tournament. They have a really good team, really good big band too. Well coached. They didn't do well in the Big Ten tournament, which is fine. Gives them more time to rest. That all being said, I like Illinois.
Yeah, I always struggle with the Big Ten when it comes to tournament time. I just don't feel they ever perform that well. Michigan, speaking of Big Ten, Colorado State, a 6 seed, the Rams, going against the Michigan Wolverines, who are an 11 seed.
Michigan
is Juwan Howard coaching, or is he still suspended?
He was just suspended for the regular season. I believe he's coaching. I believe I'm right.
See who he slaps.
I don't think it matters. I don't
think he slaps in the tournament.
I like Colorado State. No one. I've seen them play. They're a really good team. Michigan has playing horrible basketball the past couple weeks. So yes, I'm taking Colorado State.
Okay. Tennessee against Longwood, a 3-14 matchup.
I have Tennessee going really far in the tournament. I watched them play over the weekend. They're for real. They're a really, really good team. If you want to take them winning the whole thing, I wouldn't be surprised. I think I do in one of my brackets. You got to take Tennessee, at least making the lead 8. Yes on Tennessee.
Okay. And here's Ohio State against, is it Sister Mary? What is the Loyola Chicago's nun's
Sister
name?
Mary? She's like 90-something years old. She goes to all the games. She's adorable. I'm taking Loyola Chicago every year. Like, there's a miracle happens, and they always make it to the Sweet 16. It's unbelievable. I don't know if they'll make the Sweet 16 this year, but I have them winning in the first round.
And I have a feeling you're going to have Villanova beating the Fighting Blue Hens of Delaware.
Villanova is another team that can win the whole tournament. It just depends who they play and how they're matched up. But Villanova is a really well-coached team, and they love to slow the ball down a little bit, but they can run too. I like Villanova a lot in this tournament, and yes, they'll win the first round.
Okay. Wichita Films wants to point out that Longwood has former Virginia Tech player Isaiah Wilkins as the MVP. No chance they're winning.
Well, really, Longwood's going to be, yeah, we know that, yeah.
He just wanted to point out that Virginia Tech is represented in multiple brackets.
I was waiting for his Virginia Tech talk. For some reason, he's like Mr. Kansas now because he lives in Topeka. But he should be rooting for
let's talk about Kansas
instead of University of Kansas. He has no ties to University.
Let's move to the Midwest then. I assume you have Kansas advancing out of the first round.
If you look behind me, I have a picture of Remy Martin, who played for Arizona State last year. During the weekend, he plays for Kansas. He was a spark plug. He scored 11 points in a row. He was unbelievable. He's healthy. He was great. So
yeah, yes, I noticed that my Terps and your Sun Devils aren't exactly playing in the tournament this year.
No, we're not playing in any tournaments, and I'm not happy about it. But keep going.
All right. San Diego State. They're playing Creighton. That's an interesting matchup for me.
I like San Diego State. I've seen the Aztecs play. They're really well coached. They have a lot of talent from Los Angeles. Really good talent, actually. I feel that WAC will be represented in the first round, and I think they'll beat Creighton. Creighton's not that great this year. I've seen them play a few times during the season, and they lost both times.
To me, when I've watched them, they've just been really streaky. Like you'll watch them, and for 18 minutes of a game, they'll look like they could be a top 5 team in the country, and then all of a sudden, they just look like.
So I'm taking San Diego State. I think either team can win, but I'm taking the Aztecs.
I love the Richmond Spiders, but I had I couldn't pick them to beat Iowa.
Richmond, I like too. I love the Spiders. They haven't been in the tournament in many years. Iowa has these twins called the Murray twins. They're really good, and they can shoot. Iowa's coming together. They're probably going into the tournament. They're probably the best team. I feel the most oiled team going into the tournament, like peaking at the right time, is Iowa. They won their tournament. These Murray twins are for real. I also like McCaffrey, the coach for Iowa. He's great, and his son plays for the team. He's like 7 feet tall. Iowa's a good team. I have been going pretty far in the tournament. I don't think they'll win the tournament, but they're fun to watch.
One of my Cinderellas is the next matchup, and that's the Jackrabbits of South Dakota State taking on Providence. I have them going all the way to the Sweet 16 to play Kansas.
Love it. So as I mentioned before, they didn't lose a game in their conference to South Dakota State. Providence, I don't know how they got the 5 seed. I don't know who they played. I didn't see them once on national television. I have no idea how they got the 5 seed, and there was no talk at all about them. But I'm on your side. I'm taking South Dakota State with the big upset. And
yeah,
they can play. These guys can play. I watched them.
They're incredibly efficient. Like they lead. I think
like no one's ever seen. They shoot a lot of threes, and they're good.
Yeah. All right, Wisconsin. The Badgers are playing the Colgate Raiders out of upstate New York.
I would love to take Colgate. I think Wisconsin's so overrated. They've lost to so many bad teams during the season. I think they're way overrated, but I think they could beat Colgate.
Yep. It was just pointed out that Providence got the 5 seed because they won the Big East.
So, fine. Right. Okay.
All right. LSU, Iowa State. LSU is 6 seed, Iowa State an 11 seed.
Right. I did take Iowa State in one of my brackets, but I took LSU in 3 of my brackets. I like LSU just because of the conference they play in and the athletes they have on that team. They have some really good guards. They have a big center, and I feel talent-wise they just outdo Iowa State. So I'm taking LSU.
All right. Well, Wichita Films has already announced who his finals are, and he's taking chalk. He's going Kansas Gonzaga in the finals.
Boring. Okay, keep going.
All right. USC is a 7 seed. From your neck of the woods, and they're playing Miami.
I told from the beginning, Miami has really good guard play, and last year that's why Baylor won. As you know, Case, they had like 2 guys that were drafted in the NBA off that team. Mitchell was one of them. And I feel this year Miami has really good guards and they have a really good team. I feel they'll go pretty far in the tournament. And yes, I think USC will fall in the first round.
Yeah, I like Miami too, but but unfortunately they come up against Auburn in the second round, and that's a tough matchup for them. Auburn's going against Jacksonville State in the first round.
I have them beating Auburn in a couple of my brackets. I feel Auburn is really unpredictable sometimes, and sometimes they look great, sometimes they look really bad. I just feel Miami, that'd be one of the upsets.
All right. Miami in the Sweet 16 would certainly be an upset, so that's a good pick.
Yep.
Well, that goes through the first round. Why don't you tell me who you have as if you want to go with the Elite 8 or Final 4, you tell me.
We'll do Final 4, and then we can comment about some of the teams that we think will go kind of far. But my Final 4 is Purdue and Arkansas in one bracket. Okay. And the other one is Kansas and Tennessee in the other bracket. So
if those hit, you're going to win. I'm going to be honest with you.
I mean, I feel Tennessee is playing really good basketball. They have a really good team. Kansas, they won the Big 12. They're playing. They won their conference and they won their tournament. They're peaking at another team that's peaking at the right time. and they have a really good team. And then Arkansas is my dark horse. They've beaten everybody in their conference. They know how to win big games. And Purdue, to me, is probably one of the most talented teams out there in the Ncaa. They have a really good team. They just can't play defense that well, but they have 7-footers. They have snipers for shooters. So, and then what's your Final Four?
I have I do 2 brackets. I do one that's more chalk, and in that one I have, well, I'll do my non-chalk one first. I have Texas Tech and Purdue on one side in the Final Four.
Yep, I like Texas Tech. I have them going to some of them like Elite 8 or at least the Sweet 16. But
I have Texas Tech beating Purdue to get to the finals, and the other side I have chalk. I have Kansas going up against Villanova with Kansas winning, and then I actually have Texas Tech winning the finals because, to me, if you pick a number 1 seed to win the finals, you're going to be in a dogfight to see whether you win your bracket. So
that's why I took Arkansas, because I took Arkansas to win it all in one of my brackets. To see, everybody knows, I took Kansas, I took Arizona in one of my brackets, and I believe I did take Tennessee to win it all in one of my other brackets. So my strategy this year, I kind of spread it around out of 4 different brackets. If I do another bracket, I might do Arizona. This year, folks, it's going to be a lot of upsets. It's going to be a fun tournament, and I root for all the small schools. I love when the big schools get beat. So even if I lose money in my thing, if you lose to if Longwood wins, no one picked Longwood. So that all being said, it's not like you're going to lose your pool because of Longwood. You're going to lose your pool because you didn't take the winner last year. I had Baylor. We won.
Yeah.
So it all comes down to who you take to win it all. And we gave you a lot of teams that we like a lot. Who do you guys like? Email us right now. Text us. Let us know who you like.
Yeah, I mean, no surprise. Wichita Film said go Hokies. I think the 2 teams I'm most looking forward to playing, and I hope they play long into the second weekend, are the Jackrabbits and Vermont. I love watching
Vermont.
those.
I don't think they have a chance. I mean, I saw them playing their conference championship, and I don't think they're that good.
I'm just telling you who I'd enjoy seeing.
I don't think they can guard like real Division I teams, but
any given Thursday,
we'll see what happens. But I'm rooting for the upset. So go Vermont, go Longwood, go all these teams. That
Loyola. We want to see Loyola beat Villanova.
And if you guys have any questions, email us, let us know on MFSN. We'll love to take your questions. If you're undecided on some games, I'll give you some really strong insight. I just don't want to do it here. It takes too long. But it's going to be fun. I think the games start at 9 a.m. Pacific on Thursday.
Us on the East Coast, we have to wait till lunchtime.
And I do like Rutgers going to the Sweet 16. I think they'll surprise some people this year. They have a really good team, really good guard play. And I always look at guard play this year. I feel that guard play gets you further in the tournament compared to having like a great big man. So you got to make sure if you take a certain team, you got to make sure their guard play is really good. So all the teams we took, Case, all have really good guards.
All right, man. Well, everybody out there, best of luck in your brackets. Hope you enjoy watching March Madness as much as we do. Thank you for tuning into MFSN. Please follow us. We're going to be starting our baseball season here soon. We'll be releasing our draft previews in the next few days, and then it'll be on to baseball. So
your boy Fernando Tatis is out for 3 months.
3 months, I know. I felt bad before we go March Madness because Tom Brady unretiring kind of put the entire bracket reveal to the back burner. Like that was circa when the Rockies were in the World Series and A-Rod decided to announce he was re-signing with the Yankees or whatever.
They were in the middle of they were announcing they were doing the women's brackets,
and they broke away.
All of a sudden, the story comes out about Tom Brady, and it took over. I mean, it took over the whole thing. And we know why Tom did it, because free agency for football starts today. And there were a couple offensive linemen that Tampa had that were free agents that
he wants them back.
He knew if he wasn't coming back, they were leaving. So I think the center's coming back, but I think the Bengals signed the guard, who I'm so happy about. But Tom Brady, that's the main reason he did that, because he knew that if he didn't do that, the Tampa Bay team would be horrible next year.
Yeah. So, well, hopefully nobody usurps Thursday and Friday and all of our March viewing madness. Everybody out there, thank you so much for tuning in. Please tune into our baseball show, which will be starting here in the next couple weeks. Thank God baseball is back. But until then, enjoy March Madness. Please follow us, click the link, like our content, subscribe to our channel, and we will bring you all the best fantasy sports content we can. Have a good night.
Rock Chalk Jayhawk. Rock Chalk
Go
Jayhawk.
Hokies. That's for you, Wichita. Go Hokies.
Rock Chalk Jayhawks.